I'm going to show you how to make a translation tessellation. This is the first of 3 tessellations that you're going to learn how to make. Now this is the most simplistic tessellation, I would say. You're basically cutting a shape out of one side and you're moving it over to the other side. We're going to be practicing with a 2 by 2 inch square, but when we move on to the final project, you'll be creating your tessellations with a 3 by 3 inch square. So they'll be a little bit bigger. I have already made one here, and this is what the finished product looks like. I'm going to show you how I got to this. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my square and a pencil. I'm going to start by sketching the shape I'd like to cut out on one side. Like this. So there's the first shape. I'll hold that up so you can see it. So I drew that on there, and now I'm going to cut it out, and I'm simply going to tape it over on the opposite side. So first you need to get a pair of scissors to do this. Okay. So I'm going to scoot that straight across. It was here. Now we're moving it over here. I'm going to use a little bit of masking tape just to hold the 2 pieces together. Oops. Put that around the other way. So now I've moved one side, so I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, which I'm going to do this side right over here. I'm going to go ahead and draw my shape on there. Now when I initially did this, I wasn't trying to make it look like anything in particular. You can certainly try to do that, but sometimes it's easier just to create a few of them and see if they look like anything. It's kind of fun to see how they turn out. Okay. So there's the second part I'm going to cut out. Okay, then I'm going to move that straight across from this side to this side. And then again, a little piece of tape to hold the 2 pieces together. All right, now my translation tessellation is created, but I need to make sure that I understand how to tessellate it. So to do that, I'm going to move to my sketchbook. On the next clean page, oops, I am simply going to place this. I would recommend setting up 1 page per type of tessellation. So this is going to be my page where I do translation tessellations. Remember that there's 2 other types we're going to be practicing. Almost done. Okay, so there's the first one. And then to tessellate it, or to fit the 2 pieces together rather, I'm just going to scoot that over and it just fits together like a puzzle. And I'm sure it might be kind of hard to see this because I've got a white piece of paper that I'm tracing onto another white piece of paper, so I'm sorry about that. So what I would do if I was practicing this in my sketchbook, I would do 2 on top and then 2 on the bottom. So I would move and trace it again down here, and then scoot it over and trace it again there. And now once you've done that, once you've traced it 4 times, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, then you can go ahead and see if you think it looks like anything. And this is kind of the tricky part to this. Now when I did this, I thought it kind of looked like a lizard or a chameleon. So I started to play around with putting some details on that. So I'm just going to show you some of the details I thought of doing. And it doesn't have to fit into the shape perfectly. It could be that you do part of the shape as, you know, an animal or an object or something, and then the other part of the shape kind of blends into the background. So maybe this is a branch. Again, I apologize if you can't see this perfectly. I'll hold it up in a second. Maybe these are leaves. Wow, so we don't make our video too long. I'll just kind of hold up what I did there. Sorry. So there I have 2 translation tessellations together. Again, when you're tracing this, if you find one that you like, I would do the other 2 over here and then play around with some details on there. Now, if the first one you do is no good, try it as many times as you need to until you find something that you think you like. Thanks.